One of the biggest questions I often get asked by people about retirement is, should I retire early? See, lots of people dream about retiring early at 55 or as soon as they possibly can. The key question is it really possible? And should you even try? Well, the honest answer is it depends on your money and your health. So in this video, we're covering 5 real reasons why I think you might want to consider it. First, I'll explain how your health and fitness matter and how they are right now. Then we'll look at the 2028 deadline. That could change everything. And on top of that, I'll show you what I think financial freedom really means. Plus, I'll talk about time with family and chasing your dreams, all the things that you've not been able to do because you've been working. And can't forget some of the practical stuff about money. Well, we'll cover that as well. So my name's Saki Sain and I run financialeducation.co.uk, and I've got over 25 years of helping people plan for their retirement. So here's why your health and fitness matter for retiring at 55. So when you're 55, you're usually still fit and you're still active. You know, you can travel, you can walk, you can climb stairs, and you can actually enjoy life properly. But 10 years later at 65, well, things might start to get a little bit harder. Your knees might start to hurt, or you might tire more easily. Now, research actually shows early retirees are often less stressed and happier than those that retire later in life. What the research shows is that they sleep better and exercise more than they were when they were actually working. And actually, it was a German study that found doctor visits dropped by around 25% because they'd retired earlier. But this only works if you retire by choice, because forced retirement doesn't give you the same health boost at all. So the key thing for me is having control over your retirement decision. When you choose to stop work, stress goes down, and the research shows it. And your blood pressure might improve, as well as anxiety that often comes down too. And of course, because you are retired, you're just going to get that little bit of extra time to look after yourself properly. You know, you're going to have the time to cook healthy meals instead of grabbing quick food, as well as doing stuff like going to the gym or doing regular walks. You know, you can fit those into your schedule. So by retiring early, this is actually your chance to be healthy whilst able to enjoy it. We've also got to consider the 2028 deadline. Now, this deadline matters if you want to retire at 55, because right now you can access your pension from age 55 onward. But from 6th of April 2028, that normal minimum pension age is going to rise to 57. So this gives you a narrow window to retire early. So if you're 55 before 6th of April 2028, you're in luck. You can start taking your pension money right away. But unfortunately, if you turn 55 after that date, you're going to have to wait. That's 2 more years of work you might not want, or 2 years of no income. So now some people have a protected pension age that lets them access their pension earlier. They can continue to do so, but most people don't have this special protection at all. So what this means is that this rule change affects millions of workers across the UK. So if you want to retire at 55, act before 6th of April 2028. So again, just to reiterate, after that date, most people are going to have to wait until 57 to access their pension. So this isn't a scare tactic, it's just that the law is changing. And the government confirmed this back in 2021, and that is still happening. So you do need to decide soon if retiring at 55 matters, because waiting past 6th of April 2028 means you're going to have to do an extra 2 years. And that might be 2 years you don't want to do. But if you do want to retire early, well, you need to make sure that the numbers work, and you've got to check these very carefully, because you need enough money to live on without a salary. Now, recent research shows a moderate retirement lifestyle costs about $31,700 a year. Those are numbers set out by the PLSA, who are the Pension Lifetime Savings Association, and they set out the retirement living standards for planning purposes. Personally, I think those numbers are massively over-egging it, and you can live on a lot less than that, but those are the official numbers that you often do see. But you can almost park that in the sense that it doesn't matter, because what does matter is your own spending and how that might be higher or lower when you are in retirement. So you need to think about how much do you actually need in total. Well, a rule of thumb that I use with people is a pretty simple rule, is you need to have 25 times your yearly spending. So if you spend £15,000 a year, you need to have around £375,000 in your pension pot. That then lets you take 4% each year in a sustainable way. Now, of course, your pot needs to last from early retirement through to state pension age, when that will start to kick in. State pension age is currently 66 for many people, so that's 11 years from 55 to 66 to bridge that gap. And the state pension age, of course, is going up. And when it does happen, the full state pension is currently paying just around £12,000 a year. So your private pension needs to fill that gap completely. Your pot also needs to cover all your spending initially. So the key thing to do is to work out what your real spending numbers are, what you actually need to live, and live in a lifestyle that you're going to be happy. And you need to do this before you decide anything on when to retire. Of course, this is now a biggie. Spending time with family is another major reason to retire earlier. Grandchildren are growing up fast and you might miss those precious moments because you're at work. And at 55, you're still fit and active to be around your young grandkids. But by 65, the likely is they themselves are going to be older, they're going to be busier, and you might find yourself being a lot less active. So those early years are special and you're not going to get them back. So retiring early means being at school plays, sport days, just generally being around your grandkids a lot more. And, obviously your kids are going to be grateful in the sense that you can help them with childcare and if they need it. And it allows you to build memories whilst you're fit and active. Now, your own children might benefit from having you around more as well, not just your grandkids, because you can support them through their busy working years. And family holidays, of course, become easier when you're not tied to work. You set your own schedule around what matters to you. And, of course, you can go at times when other people generally don't go, so those holidays are then going to be cheaper. Elderly parents, on the other end, might also need your help and support. So retiring early gives you time to care for them. So what this really comes down to is priorities and what values most to you. So money is important, but time with family might be priceless, because once these years are gone, you're gone for good. Another good reason to retire early is to pursue your dreams. Things you always put off because of the strong reasons. So most people have hobbies or interests that realistically they've never had time to really engage with because of their working life. Maybe you want to learn the guitar or just take up art classes, or perhaps you dream about hiking or even writing a book. The reality is work got in the way of these plans before. But from 55, you've got energy and time to actually do it. You're not too old to learn new things at all. In fact, research shows staying mentally active is brilliant for your brain. And learning, of course, keeps you sharp and prevents mental decline. It also helps give you structure and purpose to your days. Now, some people worry they'll be bored in early retirement, but boredom only happens if you don't plan ahead. And actually, we've got another video where we talk about how to keep yourself active in early retirement. But the key thing is to make a list of things you want to do, sign up for classes or join clubs before you finish. The main thing is you need to have a purpose. And I'd also recommend that you do talk to other retirees about what they enjoy doing, how they found early retirement, how have they found some purpose. Because the key is staying active and engaged with life. Retirement isn't about sitting around watching daytime telly. It's about making the most of those meaningful years that you've now given yourself. So we bring all this together, what does it actually mean? So here's what I think you should do now if you are thinking of retiring at 55. First, work out exactly how much you spend each year. Track everything that you spent for 3 months to get some really accurate figures. And don't guess, because you probably can get it wrong. Second, check all your pension pots and add them all up. You use the government's pension tracing service if you can't find any of your old pots. So you might have all the workplace pensions that you forgot about entirely. Third, get your state pension forecast from the government website. See what you're going to get at state pension age, because this is going to show you exactly what you're going to get, but also when it's going to start. And it might identify some gaps that you might need to fill with your state pension, which you can do by paying in some extra payment. 4, work out if your pot can last 11 years, because remember, from 55 to 66, that's the gap you've got to fill before your pension kicks in from the state. And as a rule of thumb, you can use the 4% rule in terms of how much money you need to withdraw down from your pension pot. And again, we've got other videos that look at whether that 4% rule is actually right and how to draw money down from your pot in retirement. And the fifth thing to do is think about tax and how you'll take money. Because I'm sure you know, you can take up to 25% of your pension pot tax-free, but after that, everything else gets taxed as normal income. And do know that once you do start drawing, you may also reduce your future contribution allowances. 6, talk to a financial advisor before making any final decision, because this is way too important to get wrong by yourself, and this is where an advisor can help. The 7th thing is, if you're nearing 55 and want to access your pension at 55, remember you need to do it ahead of the 6th of April 2028 change. So let's just bring everything together and recap the 5 compelling reasons to retire at 55. First, your health and fitness are better now than they will be in later life. You can enjoy retirement whilst you're still active and well. Second, the 6th of April 2028 deadline means you need to do it before the age of 57. Because remember, after that, you can't access pensions until you are 57. Third, financial freedom works if your numbers are right. So check your spending against the retirement living standards or against just what your own budget would say. Fourth, time with family and grandchildren is obviously priceless because those years with young grandkids aren't going to come back. Fifth, pursuing dreams and interests keeps you mentally sharp. So what it's going to do is it's going to give you purpose and structure through your retirement days. Now, the key to all this is careful planning before you make the jump. Go on, really again, let's reiterate, check your spending, check your pots and check your forecast and work out if you can bridge those 11 years until the state pension kicks in. And lastly, do get some proper advice before you make a final decision, because early retirement at 55 is brilliant, but you do need to be prepared for it. It's a disaster if you're going to run out of money. So do your homework and make sure that you're actually ready to take that jump. Now, if you like this video, please do like it and subscribe to the channel for more retirement related content. Finally, good luck and goodbye.